Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling, right? The one where the years just seem to fly by faster and faster? Well, today, we're going to dig into why that happens. And, believe it or not, the secret to getting that time back might be hidden in a really old story.
Okay, so let's jump right in with this ancient Chinese story. It's called Lan Ke, which translates to the rotted axe handle. So picture this. A woodcutter is way out, deep in the mountains. He starts hearing this click, click, the sound of chess pieces. He follows the sound and stumbles upon two elders, just completely lost in this super intense game.
And the game, it's just completely mesmerizing. He's so drawn in, so captivated, that he totally forgets about everything else. I mean, his work, the sun setting, the fact that he hasn't eaten, all gone. What feels like just a few minutes, maybe an hour, just vanishes while he's in this state of pure focus.
Eventually, his stomach starts growling, and that finally snaps him out of it. He reaches for his axe, but wait. The handle, the sturdy wooden handle, has completely rotted away into dust. The iron axe head? It's all rusted over and half buried in the ground.
So, totally confused, he rushes back to his village. But nothing looks familiar. The paths are different, the houses have changed, and nobody recognizes him. He's a complete stranger. It's only when he finds a really old man that he gets a clue. The old man says, my grandfather used to tell a story about a woodcutter who just disappeared into those mountains. That was 100 years ago. So what do we make of this? Is it just a cool old fairy tale? Or is it possible that this ancient story is actually describing something real? Something scientifically accurate about how time actually works? Fast forward 1,000 years, right? And along comes Albert Einstein, who proves that, yep, time is relative. It literally flows at different speeds for different people in different places. So that old story, it wasn't just some myth. It was like an ancient, intuitive peek into one of the fundamental laws of our universe.
And it's not just physics. Modern neuroscience has its own little time-bending secret. Check this out. It takes a minimum of 80 milliseconds for the signals from your eyes to even reach your brain and get processed into what you think of as seeing.
So what does that mean? It means that your present moment, what you're experiencing right now, is actually a replay. It's your brain's edited, slightly delayed version of events that have already happened. Your brain is constantly grabbing all this sensory data, syncing it up, and then playing it back to you as a smooth, seamless reality. The wild part? You've never actually lived in the now. You're always experiencing the immediate past.
Okay, so if time is this slippery thing, what's the real thief stealing our years? Well, it's not some ancient curse or just a trick of our minds. It's actually a fundamental law of physics. It's called entropy. Think back to when you were a kid. Remember how summer vacations felt like they lasted forever? That's because everything was new, right? Your brain was working overtime, processing all this new information and creating these really rich, dense memories. That's what made time feel so thick. But as adults, our lives are mostly routine. Commute, work, dinner, TV. To save energy, our brain just switches to autopilot for all that stuff, and the memories it creates are super thin. That's why the years feel like they're just slipping away.
And this is where entropy comes back in. So what is it? Put simply, it's the universe's tendency to move from order to chaos. Think about it. There are way more ways for things to be messy and disorganized than for them to be neat and orderly. Chaos is just easier. It's the path of least resistance. It's kind of the universe's default setting. And this isn't some abstract cosmic thing. Entropy is happening in your life right now. Chaos is free. It takes zero effort for your room to get messy, but order, that takes work. Left on their own, things just fall apart. It's why friendships fade if you don't put in the effort, and why you get rusty at a skill you don't practice. Doing nothing, well, that guarantees decay.
And according to the thinking here, this is what true aging is. It's not really about wrinkles or how many birthdays you've had. The real aging process begins the moment our inner world stops growing. The moment we stop creating new things, new connections, and just start to, succumb to that universal default of chaos.
So the big question is, how in the world do you fight back against a fundamental law of the universe? It sounds impossible, right? But there is an answer, and it's all about actively creating something called negative entropy.
The brilliant physicist Erwin Schrödinger said it best. Life feeds on negative entropy. Think about that. Life itself, every plant, every animal, you, is a constant, ongoing act of defiance against chaos. We maintain our very existence by taking in energy and information, that's negative entropy, from the world around us.
And the cool thing is we can do this on purpose. We can create physical order, negative entropy, by eating good food, getting enough sleep, moving our bodies. And we can create mental order by challenging our brains. Learn that new skill, read a challenging book. Heck, just take a different way home from work. Every single one of those actions is like a tiny rebellion against chaos.
And this is not just some abstract theory. Look at Okinawa, Japan, one of those blue zones where people live incredibly long, healthy lives. They have this concept called ikigai, which basically means a reason to get up in the morning. For them, it could be tending their garden, teaching grandkids a craft, whatever. That purpose, that's their daily dose of negative entropy. It gives them a reason to create order and meaning every single day.
Okay, so this all leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it's the most powerful one, because it's not just about the things you do, it's about mastering your own inner world.
Let's call this idea consciousness freedom. Now, someone with low freedom is basically a prisoner of time, right? Their mind is constantly getting yanked back into things they regret from the past or shoved forward into anxieties about the future. But someone with high consciousness freedom, they have the ability to choose where their attention goes. They can actually choose to live right here, in the present moment.
And you can start building this freedom right now with a super simple but really powerful little exercise. Seriously, just pause for a second and ask yourself, where is my mind right now? Is it listening to me, or is it replaying a conversation from this morning? Is it worrying about your to-do list? Just notice. Don't judge it, just notice where your mind went. That simple act of noticing, that's step one. That's the beginning of freedom.
Because in the end, this isn't about fighting a war against time. It's more about expanding your awareness, expanding it so much that the line between you and everything else starts to get a little blurry. Think of it like this. How does a single drop of water become eternal? How does it avoid just evaporating into nothing? By joining the ocean. It doesn't disappear. It becomes part of something so much bigger.
So here's the takeaway. The whole idea is that by consciously deepening your awareness, by creating that negative entropy, that order in your life, and by choosing to really be present, you can kind of step out of the rushing river of time. You get to watch it flow by instead of being swept away by it. And when you live that deep, well, time can't really catch you. So the only question left is, how deep are you willing to go?